Hey, Bishop. How you doing, Bishop? Okay. All right. Now here's another dilemma. Okay. Let's put these over here. Excuse me. Uh, let's see here. It looks like I'm coming through. And now, for whatever reason, I can't get that to kick in. It's dilemma after dilemma. But we are.
White folk rule us with fear. It is not white people, it's your fear of them that you gotta be freed from. You are a slave, a dressed up Brooks Brothers alligator shoe wearing, diamond ring wearing slave.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg for power. Nobody.
I think I have figured it out. Bishop, are you there?
Good morning. I am live and in color.
Is that living color or just color?
I'm gonna say it's just color, but I'm live in color.
You live in color?
Yes, sir. Are we up and cooking and looking good looking?
Okay. I'm listening back now, and
It sounds like you're getting the right quality back too. I kind of don't hear echo. If you're down in the level, whatever level you're at, keep it where it's at.
okay.
It's like FM, no static at all, baby.
Is that what it's
When
like
FM first came on, huh?
when you first came home from
No,
work?
when FM first came on KKSS.
That wasn't the first time. That's the first time you knew about it, right?
KKSS was back in the first days of FM. Yeah, the first time I knew about it. Yes, sir. If you can take, so we on the same page.
Okay, Bishop, are you there?
I am here and ain't going nowhere.
Right.
So wave your hands in the air. Can you throw your hands up if you feel me? So we on the same page. Yeah, you kind of delayed, ain't it?
Okay. Yeah, there's a delay. But
Yeah,
here's the thing. I you know what I figured out was wrong. I got a brand new mic and I hooked it up, and each mic has to be configured for its own parameters. I'm assuming. So you can't just unplug one mic and plug another mic in. Each mic has their own.
It's audio wave capability.
Right, but it's the exact identical same microphone. But I think this new mic is going to have to be configured on a different channel. I'm assuming.
Or frequency.
Well, I don't know about the frequency. I think it's a channel issue, not a frequency issue.
Okay. Well, did you look at the band of what the mic is? Is it a better mic?
It's the exact same microphone. This is what I'm saying, but.
Okay.
But it's a probably a newer model, so I'm thinking that the parameters are going to have to.
Or the wavelength is different. I bet you.
I don't know. So that's beyond my scope, but I do know that now that I have you on, and you're actually. Matter of fact, let me check one other thing. Can you tell me how your day has been thus far?
It's going quite well. I've been on the phone with customer service people, and I have a problem with that. I don't know if any other callers out there have any problem with some of these people on customer service. A lot of them young, and they got real bad attitudes.
Well, they don't want to be bothered for real. They just want a job.
Well, here's the thing. Don't get it twisted, because I will tell you. The fact that you got a customer calling in is why you got a job. Let about 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 customers draw their money out of U.S. Bank and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. You don't think nobody's going to do that, though, Bishop?
Yeah, they can find better customer service. Would you do it?
Yeah. But,
okay.
But customer service is something that's just not readily available as
and
it
I
used
understand that. And some of it is because people don't like to be taught anything. They got some against instructions. They got criticism against authority. They have a problem. But they want their paycheck. See, if you penalize them in their pocket, they used to penalize me in my pocket. So it made me a better customer service person. I work for Charter. And I mess up one customer, I lose all my commission.
Wow.
For one customer. Is that fair?
No. I don't think so.
But that's how this lady judged you.
Bishop, while I got you on the phone, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What's your take? How do you feel about bullies? A bully. What do you think about bullies?
Back in the day, I didn't realize I was a bully. So I feel that bullies normally, but see, I wasn't a selective bully. I was a bad bully because I could throw hands. So because I could throw hands, there was no limit to who, unless you was my friend, like yourself and paid me in candy and money, you didn't have no problems with me.
Now, Vader,
But
now
anybody else?
since you brought that up, you know, it's sad to say that you used to be a hitman for candy.
Well, I was young. I ain't know no better.
I could,
just
I
like
could,
to
I
fight.
could, I could give you candy and tell you to go hit somebody, and you would go hit them for candy.
Okay, so now you want to make sure that you head
uh,
You know, I just back in that day, I just like to fight. I should have been in Golden Glove.
well, I
really should.
brought that up for a reason, Bishop. I'm not really trying to make light of it, but I think bullying is something that is very dangerous, and especially in today's society.
Well, now, yes. Back then, you had it was dangerous then too. But you had a lot of people. Back then, we just threw hands.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody finessed with throwing hands, and nobody didn't come back to school with a gun saying, "Man, you beat me up yesterday," and blah blah blah. We just fought another time. We kept fighting in every grade till we got up to high school back then.
Well, let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this, Bishop. In today's society, do you think a bully should just be ignored?
No, he shouldn't be ignored. No one should ever. Everyone should be able to stand up for their rights in this particular time.
Well,
But
bullies
not
don't care
like-
about your rights.
Well, it's all depending on how you looking at it. When you nip it in the bud the first time, you can't just all of a sudden wake up the next morning. If somebody been dogging you out, punching on you all the time, then they come and then you get tough. Then they gonna think.
Do you think bullies are
Let's think
dangerous?
about-
Do you think bullies are dangerous?
Yes, because you know why? It ain't just gonna be one bully. Normally they run in packs. It's a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be one person bullying someone.
Mm-hmm.
It's normally a plethora of people bullying people. It wasn't like back in my day.
Mm-hmm.
I was just one person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but now you got people. You see one person, but they got 4 or 5. They're cowards.
Mm-hmm.
And they usually gonna pick on the most vulnerable or the weakest who won't do anything.
So
And then when that person does man up or woman up, then they really want to have a problem then because they're figuring out what happened. You know, back in the day, if somebody would have manned up and fought the person back and beat him up, people would leave him alone. They said, I thought he couldn't fight or blah blah blah. He can fight for real.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying?
They got pushed to that.
Yeah, they got close to the edge, and they
rebelled.
They stood up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they prevailed.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to, and then at some point, I think the police.
What happened to your phone, Bishop?
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, but you did something and it didn't come out so well.
Like the police, the teachers, the community has to all work in coincide, and the person itself has to work to stop bullying, because you got to let them know.
Do you think bullies?
Do
you think bullies should have to go through therapy?
Well, normally, I will say this: a person normally bullies because they probably been bullied at some point, or they're just happy about something at home life, various other reasons why people have anger. I would think it's a form of anger management.
Do you think? Let me ask you this, Bishop, because you're a smart man. You know quite a bit. Do you think that 50 and 60-year-old men and women should be allowed to be bullying people?
Now, give me an example of this 50 or 60-year-old person.
Let's say if this 50 or 60-year-old person was an elected official, should they be allowed to engage into bully behavior and bully tactics?
No, but people use those tactics because they feel that a person has no other
Well, you're breaking up real bad, Bishop. Come out the tunnel. Come out the tunnel. You got to come out that tunnel, Bishop. Come out the. Where you in the basement? Come out the basement.
Am
Bishop.
I better now?
You're much better now.
Am I better now?
You're much better.
I'm off speakerphone.
Oh, okay.
So, a lot of times people use those tactics because they feel they have a power structure that cannot be penetrated. So if when someone at that command level bullies, then you have to find another way to penetrate their power structure to bring it down.
Right. I think bullies shouldn't be accepted by anybody.
No, it shouldn't be accepted, but it's depending on who is going to be able to protect you or how you go to defend yourself.
I got the whole armor of Jesus on me, but I got the whole body of armor of Jesus protecting me against all hurt, harm, and danger. And,
so then you got an angel.
No weapon.
Of us don't realize that.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper. But I just think that there are people that are subject to bullying, and bullying is a bad thing. And I think that when we see and identify bullying, we should expose it for what it's worth.
Right. But here's another thing. You just brought into the spiritual realm about, and I wasn't going to go there, but because we have angels watching over us, because the scripture tells us our fight is not against flesh and blood, but it's against wicked spirits and principalities and high places. When you get into the political arena, you're into principalities then, because you're ruling governors over a certain area. Would you say a certain district or ward would be a ruling government? Mm-hmm. Maybe 5,000 people in that particular area.
Or more.
That you have that ability to rule over or speak into their lives. Now, vice versa, it could be positive or negative. Mm-hmm. It could be positive or negative.
Well, I don't think bullying could ever be positive.
Well, if possibly you're moving or telling somebody they're gonna do this and it's something to help them, but they don't see it right then, maybe you come to the neighborhood and say, pull up your pants and quit drinking from the liquor store. That's a positive thing.
You on speakerphone again, Bishop? What cell phone you at? Are you with T-Mobile or what's your cell phone carrier? Hello?
I'm on or can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Who's your provider? Because I'm going to write them a letter.
My provider is T-Mobile, but all the cell phones are having...
No, it ain't all no, and don't put that on all the cell phones. That's just them T-Mobile people.
Well, I talked to my boss today. Her phone call dropped on me.
Because of your T-Mobile.
No. Well, no, I don't think she said she don't know who she is, but AT&T owns all the lines.
They don't own all the lines.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They own every line. They co-locate or lease them to other people. They have to maintain the line.
Uh-huh.
And if they don't maintain it properly,
my friend,
they pay money to AT&T. Bell, we used to call them back in the day before technology. Yes, I'm here.
I got somebody calling me on the phone, and I can't hear them. They must be on a T-Mobile or AT&T.
T-Mobile too.
Uh-huh.
No, what the problem is, that's probably a solicitor. They call you for you to call them back.
Oh, that's how it works now?
I figured that out after so many calls. I didn't got like that. Then some of them can't talk to you, but if you call in, now they can talk to you. Uh-huh. They weren't soliciting when they called you, right? That's when you put them off the do not call list. You know, they scam. I get calls from since we own that. I get calls from disconnected numbers. Have you ever did that? Called the number and said it was disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
When they called you though.
Yeah, that's like a ghost or something.
So anyway, we still on the bullying.
Yeah, we want to talk about bullying because we got to do something. I got a bully in my life now, and I got to figure out how to help this bully get some help. And I think bullying is just something that, as a people, as a society, we should not ignore nor accept.
Oh, okay. So is this an aggressive bully where they come to you, or if you come to them, they get bullied?
Well, actually, it's neither. It's neither. It was just, I've noticed this person engaging in this type of behavior in other places. And then when they, out of nowhere, the clear blue sky, go from 0 to 60 on me about a simple question, and then want to try to intimidate and threaten me, for lack of better words, I just feel that's something that needs some professional counseling. I really do. I think we should pay attention to those that are elected to represent us, and when they display certain behaviors, they should be held accountable. You can't be an elected official and be bullying people and threaten people and try to use Gestapo tactics in getting them to comply to your wishes. That's just flat out wrong. And I'm just a damn fool because I won't subscribe or succumb to it. And I'm going to call it out for what it's worth and address it accordingly. There has to be some form of somebody needs to pay attention to these people, man. And when they display bullying tactics and bullying behavior, they should be held accountable. You wouldn't disagree with that, would you, Bishop?
No, I'm not disagreeing with it. What I'm saying is, basically, yes, they should be held accountable, especially if they're in a public office, because they're there to serve. And we all, in reality, as human beings, are put on earth for a purpose to serve one another. Whatever I
very quickly, let me ask you a question, Bishop. I'm gonna use you for an example right now, if you allow me to. If you were in a phone conversation, you have been waiting on a certain elected official to call you back, and they wait till you get to work when they know you really can't talk, and then they try to direct the conversation into telling you about everything that you don't want to talk about or hear about. That's not why you've been reaching out for you to tell me about this, that, and the third. I called you about me and my situation, and I think all of my time should be designated to my concerns with you as an elected official versus you telling me about everybody else's business. Now, you wouldn't disagree with that, would you?
No, I would not.
Man, you kind of slow on your feet this morning, but okay.
No, well, I have to think about it. I have to think about it. No, I would not disagree, but they trying to throw off.
Okay. So now here's my next question to you. Once this person, I get a grip on the conversation, that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about you and your position on supporting me in expanding my business. And then this elected official then flies off and changes their whole demeanor, raising their voice as if you're their child or somebody, or maybe she thought she was talking to her husband. I don't know. But nonetheless, she started raising her voice at me, and I'm telling her, hey, hold up, pipe it down. And she just flat out hangs up because I asked her, if you're not going to support it, I need to know why. And as an elected official, if you're in opposition to something, you should have a legitimate and justifiable reason and be able to articulate it without getting enraged. Am I right or wrong on that?
You are correct.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But what you are looking at, you're not dealing with normal behavior. This is a type of strategy, is a throw off game. That's to put you in disarray on what your plan is.
I'm praying for her. I ain't in disarray. I'm praying for her. But I think it's very disrespectful. I think it's very disrespectful and unprofessional, as well as conduct unbecoming of an elected official for her to engage in that type of behavior toward me. That's all I'm saying.
I would agree with you.
And I'm asking her for an apology, and she doesn't have to give it to me publicly. I'll accept it personally, but I expect an apology from her.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lower myself to her level and boot and holler and fuss and cuss. I ain't on that level. I'm above that. And if she can't elevate to my level, shame on her.
Let me ask you a question. Has she ever bought anything at the restaurant?
She's never stepped 1 foot in the restaurant. I've been there for 8 years. Never been anywhere near it. Other than riding around complaining about too many signs. She ride around. She complained about me having too many signs when I first got there. Other than that, I haven't heard from her. But one time she reached out to me, and I'm gonna talk about this tomorrow morning. I ain't gonna let it all out today. She reached out and said she had some money to help me enhance the outside of my business. Asked me, did I ever get it? She told me out of her own mouth that she had money for my business to put up some new ornaments and new signage and pay the lot and redo this, that, and the third. She told me that out of her own mouth, but she never did it. But somebody would probably think I'm just making this up. And one thing I can tell you about me, I'm not finna lie on nobody about nothing. I had enough people to lie on me, so I'm not finna go around lying on nobody else. And when I tell you something, you can take it to the bank. If I tell you I found a mosquito that can pull a plow, damn it, you can go ahead and hook them up. Just hitch them on up. Because if I tell you I found one that can pull a plow, you better hitch them up. I'm not gonna lie on nobody. I don't believe in that. My integrity is far more important to me than lying on somebody. It doesn't do any service for me or anybody else. My word is my bond, and when I tell you something, you can take it to the bank.
So that was going to be my next thing in directing. And a lot of things and people that you deal with, you have to consider the source. And what I mean by that, you have to consider the source of their character, the source of their personality, the source of who they are. You know, so once you find, when they tell you who they are.
How can me asking you to explain to me why you don't support me expanding onto a vacant lot get you that enraged the way you got to start hollering and flip the script and hang up and run?
Well, one of the things is what you might not look at it. You're calling her to accountability. Has she ever been called to accountability by any of her constituents?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. So that's number one. That's the first thing you did. You called her to accountability to give an answer, a hope of the answer that's what in the scriptures we say that lies within you. Now, you're really asking her, you are my alderman, so what is wrong with my King Prince barbecue? That's what you're really asking.
I can tell you what the problem is. She's never liked or cared for it, and she never wanted it. And she doesn't have any legitimate reason. She doesn't have any justification. It's got to be something personal. What it is, I don't have a clue, because when you know you ain't done nothing to nobody, you don't worry about all this, that, and the third. So I ain't never did nothing but respect her and try to work with her. And for her to behave the way that she behaved with me the other day is just unacceptable. And I'm praying for her, and I'm praying that she finds it in her heart and God touches her and let her know that that behavior was unacceptable, it was dead wrong, and that she needs to come and apologize and asked me to forgive her for that type of behavior and promised to never do it again. That's all I want. I don't want to fight with her, but I don't think that when we allow people to do things and they go unchecked and unbalanced, then we're part of the blame, because if I was to do and say nothing about the way she came to me, I would be less than a man. But I just want to have hopefully a public conversation with her. I don't need a private conversation. There's nothing private about what I'm trying to do. There's nothing private about my mission. There's nothing private about my commitment to my people and my community. There's nothing private about it. So we can have a public conversation. And I would hope that she would find this a place to do it. We could do it right here on the air and engage into an intelligent, constructive, productive conversation as it relates to any concerns that she may have about my business, which I don't know why or how, because she's never even been in there. So again, if people can fabricate stuff anytime. People can sit up in the room. They got what they call it, Photoshop and all that. So you can fabricate stuff. She might be a photo prop or whatever they call it, master. But bullying tactics and bullying behavior should be totally unacceptable, especially from those elected to represent people.
So, if there are any elected officials out there listening to this broadcast,
they're not going to do it. They're not going to call. They don't have. They would have to be from a whole different state and city. Nobody from St. Louis would dare call in and engage into this conversation. We would have to find someone maybe in a third world country or somewhere. Somebody from Chicago or Detroit would step up to the plate if they were available. But St. Louis has a very
poor track record.
It has a undisputable track record of engaging into nepotism, cronyism, corruption, dictatorship. These politicians here have run amok for so long. They feel they could just they're the next best thing to God Almighty Himself. They can do what they want to do, pull over the wool over your eyes anytime they get ready, and they have people that in their pocket that they can send out and distract things and do all kind of crazy stuff. The political structure in the city of St. Louis is just, it needs to be totally erased and rebuilt from the ground up. I don't appreciate folks getting money in my interest for me and my people and sit on it as if we don't need the money. That's crazy to me. And you can't find one elected official in this city to talk about that money. They won't talk about it. They're forbidden to talk about it. They're afraid to talk about it. They're spineless and without backbone. And they won't talk about it because it's shameful in reality, the way that money, when they got the money, they didn't even tell the people they got the money and what they got the money for. They told them they had the money, but they didn't tell them what the money was for. They said, hey, yeah, Santa Claus came by and dropped us off $512 million, and we'll get back with y'all later on that. Huh? Santa Claus dropped off $512 million for the city of St. Louis and designated most of it for North St. Louis and that poverty-stricken, neglected community. And we got the money, but we're not going to tell you what the money's for. We're just going to put it in the bank and collect the interest. And when we feel like it, later on, after we got enough interest off of it, we might tell you what it's for. That's how I sum it up. What you think, Bishop?
Well, from what you're saying, I can only guess. I can only imagine. Mm-hmm. But the part with the gaining the interest is the likely story. I believe that to be very much true, and I believe this is my thought. I think that this was the money when President Obama drove through Highway 70, he looked at North St. Louis and said that he was going to do something about it.
No, that's
I
not
don't know
that.
if you.
No, this is that post-COVID money. This is money that
Okay.
This came out of the $1.9 trillion designated for the American Rescue Plan.
Build back. Build back.
We were supposed to build from the ground up, starting with the Hood Census Tract, and other cities, to my understanding, have cashed in and are doing fairly well. And tomorrow morning, we're going to have some folks on the air to tell us about some of the other cities that actually got the money and the progress that they've made in the rebuilding phases of post-COVID and the American Rescue Plan funds.
Okay. That sounds like something that probably progressive city, Chicago. But I was listening to something was going on yesterday in Chicago. They got a lot of homeless people. And I believe I was looking at some in New York. They was doing. Go ahead.
Those folks are talking. They're talking about the immigrants that are coming across the border seeking asylum, and they're being placed in places like Chicago and New York, places that already are plagued with a homeless population, and you're adding to that. We're not anti-immigrants, but the position that they're taking in Chicago, and it's legit. From where I'm sitting, it's a legitimate position.
They're asking basically, why haven't you done anything about the homeless here?
Right. Okay. That's what I'm leading to. That's what I'm leading to. They're saying you're going to take and give all these resources to a people that just got here, and we've been here for 400 years. And we're sleeping on the sidewalk. We're sleeping in vacant buildings. We don't have the housing vouchers that you're giving the immigrants. We don't have the debit and credit cards that you're giving to the immigrants. That's not right, man. These people can't even vote for elected officials. Yet they're getting all of the perks of a citizen of this community. I'm not against them people coming over here, but hell, you got a plenty of land that's whatever. Build them something out and give them their own land in their own area and let them fend for themselves. But don't come into a community and take resources from black folks that have been here struggling and forever. You got people that have gone to war and fought for this country, sleeping under a bridge. But you got immigrants coming over here getting condos and so on and what have you. It's ridiculous, man. It's a blatant insult to people that's been suffering and neglected for so long to see somebody from a whole different country just walk across the border and get room, board, and financial assistance from the top to the bottom, and you've been here all your life and you can't get the American Rescue Plan funds that the federal government sent here for you in your interest. But these people coming over here, they getting all the perks. They get all the incentives to want to come over here. And not only that, they tell me some of them are taking some of their money and sending back for the rest of their family to come join them. So
Wouldn't you?
Well, if they got it laid out like that, they don't have to work. Now, granted, I believe many of these people will work, and it's probably going to be useful in the days to come as it relates to increasing the workforce again, because for whatever reason, some folks just don't want to work and ain't going to work. And there's plenty of positions that are available and open.
And that's why some of conservative and unconservative people are they talk against it. A lot of them, even the governors of Texas, they sent 22 highway patrolmen from Missouri to go down to the Texas border to guard against immigrants coming in and sending them back. And they're giving President Biden a hard time on it about the immigrants. But once again, I am against things like that, for as them coming over getting funds that should have went to homeless black people, homeless other Americans that could be useful, things that we could be using it for. There are people that have diabetes and they don't have money. Older Americans that have retired that with the inflation of food and inflation of utilities and no assistance being cut from them. So once again, I concur with your thought process on that. I think it was New York or one of those cities up east that it was New York, and they were going to take a building that had been vacant 10 years and convert it for some of the migrant immigrants. And the people of that city the community began to speak out in protest about, well, what y'all finna do with this when they found out that it was going to be for immigrants. They said, we got people sleeping under bridges here in the community, and you mean, blah, blah, blah. So then the mayor came and gave a speech and said it was for the homeless.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's because those people stood up, and the mayor did the right thing.
Of course, New York,
mm-hmm.
Of course. I want to say it was Brooklyn. Yeah, I believe it was Brooklyn because they were talking about Harlem. It's not too far. So, yeah, it was in the burbs up there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was quite interesting to me.
Oh, yeah. Very interesting.
The other thing that is, what's your take on this, is voting for the president.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've seen something out on social media that was talking about that blacks are the only race that vote in fear. They vote in fear. Like, for instance, get out and vote in the presidential election race because we don't want Trump, but take anybody else, whether they give what they say they're going to give. Well, that was your friend, Dr. Umar, was saying that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I like Umar Johnson. I think he's on point in a lot of areas. I don't have any problem with that brother, and I have the utmost love and respect for him. But when it comes to this presidential race, I tell you, I'm just appalled the fact that Trump is even allowed to be considered. Here's a man that incited a riot that caused 5 people to lose their life at the state capitol. He should be in jail, not running for president. Had I incited a riot and 5 people lost their lives, I'd be on death row. And so
it's quite interesting. Now, his position, as I was looking on Facebook, the president is the commander-in-chief. What is he the commander-in-chief of?
Mm-hmm. Yellow.
If there are any radio callers out there, please call me at 314-732-1212 to answer the question, what is the president Biden the commander-in-chief over? Please call in 314-732-1212.
Okay, Bishop, I'm on the phone with the ticket lady.
I'm trying to get some callers to call in for 314-732.
Just write it down and tell them to bring it with them when it comes, so I'll pull them out.
The president, the commander-in-chief over, and who controls the U.S., United States, in most cases.
All right, no problem.
The United States in most cases when you are a registered voter. We get a lot of people to go out to vote on the presidential election, but they're not involved in the local election, and that is what truly governs your community, your state, where you live at. The president is the commander in chief over the army. That's his job. He's the commander in chief over the army. He can make a executive order on some things and put it in to law. But your senators and your Congress representation, your aldermen, your constable people, the mayor and governor is who get the job done in your state that controls most of the things that is going on in your life.
Okay, all right. Well, Bishop, listen, I gotta run now. I just got an important call. I gotta get out of here. Thank you for helping me out. I got this thing worked out, and at least thanks to you, I was able to figure out what my problem was, and I got it back now where we can actually hear the callers.
Okay, hopefully I wasn't your problem, but anyway, take that this morning and deal with that. Chew on that. Vote. Get out and vote in your local elections, your school board elections, your fire departments, building hospitals. Do your census and take control of your life piece by piece locally before you go and get all upset and in a bumfuzzle about the president, because he don't make the major decisions in your life. The ones that's killing you is your governor, your senators, your Congress, your representatives, your aldermen. They're making laws in your state. When you get pulled over and get a ticket, that costs you. The president didn't sign that into order. But I'm not saying don't vote in the president's election. I'm just telling you what's real.
Well,
all right.
I'm at a point now. I don't care who's the president, as long as it ain't Trump. And that's my position. They can vote for whoever they want to, but just don't vote for Trump. All right, okay. That's my position. All right, thank you so much, Bishop. Continue to listen and continue to call. This has been a special test edition of Town Hall Community Radio. I'm Prince Carter. I'm going to go ahead and hop off here. We'll see you back on tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. with King Prince Barbecue. And
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches,